Her life changes like that from day 1 to 2. She started receiving strange emails. You can have an accident. She got strange, again, this. All this in a country which is a democracy, USA, right? She loses her job immediately. Losing your job in the United States is not like losing your job in Germany. We all know that, right? You know what it means, right? And here we have a social protection, right? There is a free enterprise system. But her life was destroyed. But later on, when she was asked, would you do it again? She said, again and again. No way I would do that. Again and again. She ended up working in a fast food restaurant to finance her money, her family. But she said, again and again. This is a person which which made the decision, took the responsibility, and said, no, I'm not going to do that.
Existence of these people is crucial for the society to remain. Otherwise, the society, without these people, the society may collapse.
Yes, because if you come to it and look at it and say, my God, for crying out loud, Argentinians are human beings as well. Why are you sending these damn pesticides to Argentina, right? You see, just think about the consequences of that, right? It's unbelievable, right? Just the decision, right? It's too far away. They should take care. I mean, just think about
morality.
That. I'm sorry?
Outsourcing morality.
Exactly, outsourcing morality.
They're responsible for it. It's the Nuremberg Defense. I was only following orders. Yes. And the thing that amazes me, I was in a car with one of my bosses many years ago, and I won't mention his or her name. And I said, well, what do you think if your boss told you to park in a no parking zone? Is that okay? Is it then her responsibility, not yours? And he said, of course. And I said, but you're making the choice to break the law. You have a choice to either follow a corporate direction or break a socially accepted law. So therefore, it's your responsibility, and the judge will think the same thing when he finds you. And you may well get reimbursed by your boss, but I don't think that would ever happen. But you still have this record of having done something wrong. And I'm picking something trivial because it doesn't matter whether it's trivial. I mean, very few people are in the position of that woman where she may have saved thousands of lives by doing the right thing. Yeah. Most of us are just keeping the society working properly. Yeah. Staving off the possibility of collapse. But what I find distressing is that whistleblowers, and it doesn't matter why they do it, they might do it because they hate their boss. Yeah. They might do it because they've got a high moral standard. They might do it because to protect themselves. It doesn't matter why they do it. The fact is that by doing something that has a benefit for society, you should be respected, you should be protected, and you should be looked up to. There's I understand how somebody in a corporate position of power could feel betrayed when one of their employees let something like this get out. It could be a very personal feeling of betrayal. But in reality, that person has done everyone a favor. And I mean, there's a lot of people that you might not necessarily respect as a person you would have dinner with your friends, who you'd introduce to your family. But, and I'm certainly not talking about this woman, but if the person has done something good that benefits the society by exposing something that is either corrupt or has bad consequences that are hidden, because the market principle, and I'm not an economist, so I'm probably wrong about this, requires a level playing field. It requires disclosure. That's why insider trading is illegal in most countries.
Yes.
Everybody has an equal chance. Obviously, if you've got more money, you've got more chances to try. But that in itself is fine as long as everybody knows what's happening. Everybody is treated the same way. And I mean, my society is not perfect. Things go wrong. There's prejudices and things go up and down and whatever. But at a basic level, like many societies, it believes in fairness. And I mean, I live in an essentially immigrant society. There's people from everywhere in the world move to Australia. And the thing that I notice, which maybe not every Australian notices, is how much they take to these principles of fairness. In Australia, we talk about mateship, which means camaraderie, where you help your fellow worker out, or your friend or whatever. In the transparency of government, no Australian respects a politician just for being a politician. If they're an honest person or a well-meaning person, even if you disagree with their policies, you can respect them. But to be a politician is like being a real estate agent. It's a job. If you do it well, you're respected. If you do it badly, you're not. And this kind of seeps into everyday life. And when I talk to people who, I mean, you know, I meet people who've had horrific experiences, refugees and things like that, who are just ordinary people. And what they want is honesty, fairness, opportunity. But they prefer fairness. Most people, most decent people, and by that I mean most people, they prefer the opportunity to progress fairly. I mean, people have weaknesses, and people sometimes take the main chance and grab things. And we have a thriving culture of gambling here, which is based purely on chance, even though people think they're making rational choices. But for all that, if I go out, if I trip walking down the street, someone would help me up. If my car got stuck coming out of my driveway once, a person I'd never met before who lived on the other side of the street came over and offered me help, who didn't even speak English. So it wasn't, you know, like ethnic solidarity, it was human solidarity. And it's my feeling, particularly listening to everyone talk today, that this is a basic thing. It's what keeps societies working properly. And I mean, we can tolerate the odd person doing the wrong thing. The problem is in current Western societies that, and I'm, you know, I won't name any large countries, but where there is a very thin layer at the top that has most of the economic clout, then their ethics or lack of ethics, and let's be honest, there's quite a few ethical people with a lot of money too, influences society. When you were talking about Aristotle and associating with people with good values and avoiding people with bad values, it reminded me of something that I think about reality television, which is it is a way to destroy the morals of the people watching it, because it trivializes everyday life.
Yes, it does.
And the decisions that people make. And people do things so that they will stand out rather than they will be respected.
You know,
And
I mean, go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Well, what I'm saying is that if there's another old English saying, if you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. You cannot escape. You cannot escape the effect of the people around you, whether it's for good or for bad. And if you say, oh, look, this is not important, everybody does it. that's not a justification.
No.
That's an excuse.
Yes.
And you know, I think I can tell from what everyone said that you're all prepared to take responsibility for your actions, and none of you want to achieve things by theft, whether intellectual or whatever. And I think if people see that in other people, they will try and emulate it. But if what they see only is people becoming rich by lying, by self-inflation, rather than by, you know, real achievement, then they're going to say, well, that's the best way to achieve things in this life, and they're going to copy that. Bad money drives out good. If your exemplars are trivializing honesty and trivializing doing good things, and who believe that it doesn't matter what's inside, it's what's on the outside. If that's around you, you're going to all end up in that boat, and that boat's going to sink.
Yes.
You know, this idea of societal collapse, I think it's a real thing, and I think we can see it happening in some places.
Yes.
Because people don't think their decisions in a democracy really have a lot of effect. So people get elected just to see if they can shake things up, without worrying about what the consequences are, because health systems can be destroyed by lack of funding.
Yes.
Academic systems can be destroyed by encouraging lack of integrity, or by monetizing them to the state where, you know, publish, otherwise you won't have any money. Governments can be destroyed by people losing trust in them. I trust my local police. I trust the judges in my courts, because I know that they're looked at very carefully, that their things are overseen. In most Western democracies, we've got a free press. The press is like academic that pressure you were talking about. Everything you publish is looked at over a period of years. Every word's taken apart. People are competing for excellence. They're trying to find your mistakes. Well, sometimes we all make mistakes, so that's a good thing. I mean, it'd be better if you kind of didn't have too many found, but or not publish until you're actually sure about what you're saying, and not make outlandish claims like we know some people have. But if we want, you know, things to get better, there've got to be people like you standing up for essential, you know, ethical values in this. We had in our schools a few years ago, even with primary school children, having ethics being taught as a subject. And I mean, this didn't happen when I was a school child. We got our ethics in religious schools or things like that. But this, to me, is a really good thing, because children are very good at picking up dishonesty.
Yes.
And I don't despair. I meet young people on and off all the time. I mean, not like people like you who are teaching them, but over a wide range of areas. And there does seem to be a desire for ethical behaviour. There is also a desire to look good among your friends and everything like that. But at a basic level, people want to be able to trust other people.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. Thank you very much, Bede. Nima, do you want to add something to our discussion today?
It's always my pleasure to talk to you, and I'm very glad to meet Dennis and Bede today.
Nice to know you. Yes, very nice to see you all.
Yeah.
And one note is, you see, I remembered this famous phrase, it seems, of Churchill, that the democracy is the worst form of government, but people did not invent nothing better. You see, I don't know, don't remember exactly this phrase.
Yes.
The sense is that. So you see, but to remember your phrase about eat and take and give somebody it as well. So it's better to say eat what you grew up here by yourself.
Yes.
Nothing more. If you want something more, you have to buy or exchange, you see, but not to steal.
And you know, then it's the justification or another justification, like the same person says, when I was an engineer and working for a car manufacturing company, we took any new model of other competitor car manufacturers, took them apart, and then we had the credo or the slogan, steal with pride. You know, as I said to you, if something like that, steal with pride, imagine it becomes a credo or a slogan of the whole society. This system is going to be so infested with corruption. And you know what we always say, you know, the worst type of corruption is, I don't want to mention any country, but I saw that myself, right? You're driving in that country, let's say country X. One of the worst type of corruption happens everywhere, also in democracies, but when it's prevalent, when the police is corrupt, right? You're driving, the police stops you, and is very trigger happy. The police in that country X is very trigger happy, stops you and say, okay, you were driving too fast. And actually you were not driving too fast at all. And you just try to say no. I said, are you saying something against the law? So he's the law, he's the judge, he's the executioner, he's everything in one person. He's state attorney, he's even your lawyer, right? He's even your prison guard. He's everything in that moment, right? And then,
of course, yes, moral authorities have to be in the center of every, like a judgment system is built. You see, if the highest judge, judgment is, everybody must believe him. So it's like the pillar, like the basement of every society, and it's for science. It's the principal things, I think.
Yes. And then the police asks you for money. And once you have corruption to that level that even the people fear the police because police even asks for money, then you know you have a huge problem in that society. If, you know, people, because police is corrupt and ask for money, if you pay him, he let you go. So you see, and exactly as you said, Dennis, in the society, in the academic world, if academics also think the same way and even try to justify steal with pride and all these things, then, you know, then what kind of academic institution would it be? What kind of academia is this? What kind of integrity, what kind of values are we imparting to the young generation? As you said, there's also like this, we said, like this reality show or like all these things people are shown all the time. I always ask myself, you know, I go to Russia, Russia is looking for a superstar. I go to Mongolia, Mongolia is looking for a superstar. Mongolia is looking for a superstar? I was in, that's crazy. I go to Dubai, and in Dubai TV, Dubai is looking for a superstar. And then I said, okay, that's enough. I need to find a country which doesn't look for a superstar. So an Afghan scholar, I called him and said, listen, I have never been to Afghanistan. Yeah? Do you also look for a superstar? Of course, our TV is full. Afghanistan is looking for a superstar. And I said, I can't believe it. I was in Middle and South America. Everybody's looking for a superstar. In Africa, in every country. What the hell? There are two ways. People are not so dumb. People, of course, don't want to look for a superstar. Why are they feeding people with superstar? Or I cannot believe it. What, you know what I mean? this is really something. I mean, people, I think, are more interested in cultural programs. I hope so, at least. Or something interesting. What is this damn superstar all about? That the whole planet is looking for a superstar. It's amazing for me.
What happens is that people convince themselves that they're not taking this seriously, that this is relaxing the mind, but it's not relaxing the mind. It's filling the mind with rubbish. And it's not, the important thing is it's not that the people that like these things are not intelligent. It's like gamblers who tell you that, oh, I just spend a little bit of money gambling. But they don't, because they're not only lying to you, they're lying to themselves. And the people, when they're watching these things, don't know that it's addictive.
It is, yes, you're right.
So it's not, they're not making a conscious choice. They're just being exploited. And I know a lot of people that like these kind of things, because I just, you know, I'm part of a normal society, so this is very prevalent. And I see them, you just kind of, it's the good money and bad money thing again. It's just this constant flow of material, and it steamrolls, and it's like an economic thing where you get bubbles and all this kind of stuff. It's that kind of thing. It just steamrolls. We're living in a society. I remember when I was a child. When you get old, you start to remember when you were a child a lot. Reading the science fiction author Isaac Asimov, and at some stage he was discussing a future where there would be instant polls. Every house there would be a computer or something. This is long before computers, and the government would say, what do you think about this? Yes or no? Should we do this? Yes or no? Bang, bang, bang. And that was thought to get rid of the middleman, the politicians, and have direct democracy. But what he hadn't thought about is what we live through, which is social media, where somebody will make a comment about somebody which is untrue, and that person will become notorious among millions of people immediately. Where insane people will film themselves murdering other people, and even people who are not insane will watch it, causing it to become trend or whatever. And what's important about democracies is think before you vote. And what's important about life in general is think before you do something. Again, old saying, look before you leap.
I thank you then. I thanks Dennis for taking part in it. Dennis, would you like to say something else here?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your being here. And Bede, would you like to add something here today?
No, I thoroughly enjoyed all the speakers. I think that it's been very uplifting.
Thank you very much, Bede. Nima, do you want to add something to it today?
Thank you very much. It's my great pleasure to see you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, guys. And I hope to see you soon. I mean, the latest, all of us, we are going to be in the conference of Dennis, and then talk about all these nice weapons in the weaponology.
I believe that we will meet in conference, okay?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Bye.